Hi guys, it's Mrs. C here with Cycle 1 Week 13. I hope you guys had an amazing break. Mine was pretty uneventful, restful, thankfully. I feel like we're finally settled in the house. I got to go through my schoolroom, get organized. So that was good. But regardless of what you did, I hope you are having a great start back to second semester. So we will jump right in. I started with geography like I usually do. I didn't do anything special for this. We just went over each of the locations, just like we normally do. And then I always use some time to review while we already have our maps out and they're there in front of them. I also like to go over the locations a few times, then jump around, review some on the map, and then come back and do our new locations, or while we're reviewing, throw in the newer locations just to kind of get their brains really working on remembering those. So we did that several times in class, and then we moved on. We went from there to timeline. So I tried something different today. If you've ever played the game Headbands, we kind of did a version of that today. My daughter has a bunch of these, like the elastic things, and I had them put them on their heads like this. And then I had them close their eyes and take a card, and they stuck their card in it like this. And so they had to figure out, looking around everybody's headbands, which card they had. So unlike headbands, they don't have to ask questions because it's basically just looking around, going through the timeline, process of elimination, who has what on their head, figuring out what's on top of their own head. So I have 8 students in my class now. We had a new family join, which is awesome. And so I have 8 students, and since there's only 7 cards, we played a couple times so that everybody got a chance to play that wanted to play. I think they sell these at the dollar store too, so you could just get a bunch of those. Or if you have the game headbands, you can use the actual headband from that to play. But those were easy to do. They do get a little tight after a while. I don't know how people wear those all the time to work out. They always make my head hurt. Maybe I have a big head. So anyway, so we put those on. They look around, figure out what card they are. That's what we did. For timeline, for science and for Latin, we went out into the hall. We were in a different building today, so our class didn't have quite as much room. And I laid out my agility ladder, and then I had all the different parts of the geosphere written on my little earths. That was good tie-in. They couldn't see them on the side they were on, but I had all those written out, lay them out on the or beside the different rungs on the ladder, and had them jump and say each part of the geosphere, and then we said them all together. So then while we were out in the larger area, I took a ball and I started tossing around. It's just a little foam ball. Started tossing around a little foam ball, and I would throw it to somebody and say nominative, and they would throw it to somebody, and they would have to say subject when they caught it, and then they would throw it to the next person. They said genitive, and they would throw it to the next person. They'd say possessive. We started doing that, but my kids, I don't know if your kids will be like this, but they're very excited to be back together. So they have a lot of energy and enthusiasm for what we were doing, and they got a little too enthusiastic with throwing the balls. So we just ended up putting the ball up and just chanting back and forth. Then I would say all the Latin cases, and then they would say the English cases, and then they had them say the Latin to me, and I said the English, and we just went back and forth like that. For English, we did some hand motions today. So we had according to, so we did like this, like you're playing an accordion. So we had according to, in addition to, making a plus sign. Then we have except for, making an X, in front of, out of, sorry, you can't see my hand, like I'm pulling a rabbit out of a hat, out of, and then I went back in for instead of. I told them, as far as actual motions, in putting your hand down in there like that doesn't connect for me for instead of. So if they could come up with a better one, a few of them tried to come up with like this one, and they said no, that one kind of thing. So if you can come up with a better motion, please share with all of us, because my brain was not all the way on last night when I was planning, or it was on, I just couldn't think of anything. So we did all of those motions again, according to, in addition to, except for, in front of, out of, and instead of. So I'm going back in for the in part of instead. That's what we did for English. We did those a few times, and then I went and let each student do a motion, and I had to name what it was. They tried to figure out what each other were doing. For math, I did the Kingdom of Gallon. I do the Kingdom of Gallon every year because I love the Kingdom of Gallon. And I haven't had this class for a while, and I don't think they've done the Kingdom of Gallon for a while because they did not know what I was saying, or what I was talking about when I brought it up. So basically, to do it, you can see in some of my other videos, my older videos. I don't know if I have let me get a piece of paper and I will do it for you guys. So you start off, you will need a whiteboard or somewhere to write in a writing implement. And you start off by saying in the Kingdom of Gallon, and you draw a really big G. You want to draw your G as big as you possibly can. So I'm gonna draw a big, huge G. Okay, the Kingdom of Gallon. There are 4 queens of their courts. So you're gonna draw 4 Qs like this, okay? Each queen of her court had 2 pint-sized princesses. So we're gonna put a P, and again, you wanna make these as big as you can inside each letter because you have to put stuff inside, okay? And each pint-sized princess had 2 cup-sized kittens. So we'll put a C in each side of each P. And as we were doing this, I was saying, okay, there are 4 quarts in a gallon. There are 2 pints in a quart. And then I was like, how many pints are there in a gallon? 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 pints in a gallon. Okay, how many cups are in a pint? There's 2 cups in a pint. How many pints are in a quart? 2 pints in a quart. How many cups are in a gallon? So we go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, so then each cup-sized kitten drank 8 fluid ounces or 1 cup of milk every day. So you put in 8, which this is a bad marker to do this with, but you put in 8 inside of each C. So then we said, well, how many fluid ounces is in 1 gallon? Now, this is taking it a little bit further than what we need for memory work, but again, I have the older class. They are capable of doing this. With the younger class, I probably would not do the skip counting part and all of that. I would just do the very basic stuff, but you guys are here for the masters. So then we counted 8, 16. We did our skip counting our 8s, and then we noticed, uh-oh, we have 16 and we only learn up to 15, but we do know how to add 8, so we added 8. So that's the Kingdom of Gallon. The Kingdom of Gallon has 4 queens of their courts. Each queen has 2 pint-sized princesses, and each princess has 2 cup-sized kittens, and each cup-sized kitten drinks 8 fluid ounces or 1 cup of milk every day. Okay, that's the Kingdom of Gallon. So that's what we did for math. Once we kind of did that, we just said the equivalents out loud. I pointed out to them, for those that are doing memory masters and are visual people, and because I visualize stuff in my head, that it's all 1s on the right hand side, and then it's 8, 2, 2, 4, and 4 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. So that's just, for me, kind of helpful. So that was math. The last thing we had was history. Is that right? Yep, history. So we have Kush. It's not a super long history sentence this week, which is nice. I just switched out words. So I think I had the kids, the kids mine gold along the Mile River from 2000 CC to CD 350. So we listened and they had to correct me. And then I had the barbells pumped gold, iron, and protein in the gymnasium. Whatever inspires you for doing it. So we traded out the words, listened to it. They helped me correct it. And we just sang the song a few times. So I think that was everything today. A lot of you will sometimes ask what I did for review. We did the Rocket game for review today. You can find this on Teachers Pay Teachers. I believe it's a free download, and it's super easy. If you haven't played this before, you have this rocket. Everybody gets a dice. There's different variations on playing it. How I tend to play it is everybody has their own rocket and their own dry erase marker and their own die. We answer a question, so I'll say, tell me about the Kush, and they will tell me about the Kush, and then I say, okay, everybody roll. Everybody rolls their dice. If you roll and you get a 2, you use your dry erase marker and mark off the 2. Then we go to the next question. I'll say, what are some parts of the geosphere? And then we go through and name all the parts of the geosphere, and I said, all right, everybody roll. Everybody rolls. Let's say you get a 4 that time, so you mark off your 4. Then we say, all right, what are the compound prepositions? And we recite the compound prepositions. Everybody rolls, and you rolled a 2 again. So you don't get to mark off anything that time. So you go through, everybody rolls each time, and you're trying to basically roll all the numbers 1 through 6. And whenever you get those, fill up your rocket, you blast off, and then you, I don't know, depending on the age that you have, depends on the reward. So when I had younger kids, one person would blast off, the whole room got to get up and run around the room and blast off around the room one time. Then they sat down and we did it again. So it was kind of like a team effort where no one's really losing, that they all win once somebody gets to blast off. Sometimes you can play against the teacher and see if one of the kids can beat the teacher before they blast off. And today, because I have the older kids, I was joking with them. It was funny, and I didn't really have a reward for them because they don't need rewards. They like playing it though. And so I said, your reward is a firm handshake. And they were all like, we want a firm handshake. I never know with them what's gonna be exciting. So anyway, I did end up giving everyone a firm handshake and thanking them for being in class today, and they all were very thrilled with that. So that's what we did today, and hopefully that is helpful to you guys. I'm excited to be back, and hopefully we all stay well and can continue on our year as scheduled. So anyway, hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you back next week with week 14. Thanks, guys.